Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the establishment of regional fund to confront droughts. The forest fire in the outskirts of Tangier in Morocco. Welcome to our newsroom. Our workshop to close the drought resilience project in the Dikil regions was held this morning at Sheraton Hotel by the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fishery and Fishery Resources, Mr. Ibrahim Elmi. The event was attended by the members of various associations in the Dikil regions benefiting from the project, as well as a representative of the project's partner, Cabinet International GOPA, IGAD, and the German KfW Bank. This project financed by the German people through the KfW Bank to the tune of 4 million euro or around 800 million Djibouti franc is designated to respond to the challenges of drought resilience and support for vulnerable cross-border areas through field actions, technical support, awareness raising, and a participatory financial approach, creating a hopeful, useful basis for the future interventions. For his part, the representative of the KfW Bank said that it must be stressed that it is to improve the drought resilience of the pastoral and agripastoral population of Dikil by improving access to waters for livestock and human consumption, as well as improving agropastoral productivity. The target of group concerned by the programs are the pastoral and agropastoral community in the cross-border corridors of the south-west Dikil, precisely in the localities of Sankal, As'ila, Yoboki, Bandra, and Agna. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Fishery Resources, Ibrahim Almi, said that the objective is the main objectives of this forum is it must be stressed is to improve the drought resilience of the pastoral and agropastoral population of Dikil by improving access to waters for livestock and human consumption, as well as improving agropastoral productivity. Afterwards, the project's winning associations received awards from the hands of the officials for the successes and creativity within the framework of this project. All the associations received these prizes for their participations in the quest to strengthen their resilience in the face of drought. The ceremony took place in a joyful and festive atmosphere. The prize-winning associations who received the awards with the smiles and efforts for the solutions of strengthening regional resilience, pastoral and agripastoral population. In a determined fight against poverty, the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity joined forces with the World Bank to launch the Pitch project, focused on rural areas. This project brought about revolutionary change through quarterly cash transfer. This transfer have propelled to the economies and improved the lives of many individuals while empowering them through local initiatives, including the creations of rural savings and credit banks. The Pitch project has also ensured access to essential infrastructure such as schools, health centers, and community development centers, which have strengthened the social cohesion and provided rallying points within communities. This innovative approach has been supported by training sessions across inland regions and has led to the creation of autonomous self-help group operating independently of microfinance institutions. These groups play a crucial role in the economic development of rural areas, improving living conditions while strengthening resilience in the face of contemporary challenges. The Pitch project represents a significant step towards a more equitable and prosperous future for the country's rural areas. Now in our large format industries, inclusive tourism following the consequences of the effects of the pandemic and in the midst of adversity, the government, guided by the conviction, is that tourism can transcend challenges and rises as a driving forces for renewable, has put in place a strategy to drive a dynamic tourism of meaning and value rooted in Djibouti's heritage, in symbiosis with its territory, and vibrating to the authentic richness of its art of living. Listen for more details.
The government, through its ministry, will put in place its strategic dynamic that will install a new approach that of sustainable recovery, a tourism to support the population and the sense create jobs, promote culture and protect the heritage, but also a tourism for future generation. It will be an exclusive tourism, a tourism that excludes no one of tourism that protect and not destroy it. It will be a question of the rethinking the future of the tourism sector and the way it will contribute to the development of the Egyptian population. In other ways, they put in place a value chain to absorb youth implement. It is the reduced poverty by integrating young people in the value chain that is tourism. For that, it will be a question of relying on the terminal capital that exists. Indeed, it is a question of putting in place a policy that favors environment conducts to entrepreneurship and sustainable small and medium-sized tourism enterprise, which invested in development of qualified tourism workforce and facilitated the transition from the informal to formal economic. Initial access concentrated on people and inclusive, sustainable, resilient innovation. A tourism that will be enjoyed in the long term for future generation. It is in the case that Minister of Trade and Tourism is a conference entrepreneurship and tourism job. It is a conference placed under high patronage of the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mohamed Oussama Douria, also the participation of more than 115 young Djiboutians. The objective of this conference is to encourage young people to discover and seize job opportunities, including entrepreneurship existing in the strategic sector for the economic development of our country. Several priority investment projects, some of which have started with the mobilization of the private sector, port of interception infrastructure and intellectual structure. This identified infrastructure will allow the creation of more than 2,000 jobs in the short term, including new jobs in the sector. This new invitation that the government of His Excellency Muhammad Ghali, which is set to carry for the generation of today and tomorrow, a tourism of meaning and value. Tourism is strong of its heritage, it is territory and it's a art of living.
On the Somali front, the city of Dusamareb, capital of the Galmudug region in central Somalia, has become the focus of preparations for the war against the Shabab militia movement, which poses a threat to the country's security. Most of the country's top leaders are currently in the city, led by the Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, to achieve the desired objectives. Thousands of Somali armed forces have been mobilized in the Galmudug region and put on alert to fight the Khawarij stationed in the east of the region and south of Mudug. RTD Somalia's correspondent gathered the feedback from the inhabitants of the town of Dushamareb, who welcomed the preparations underway for the weeks to liberate the areas still occupied by Shabab militia, particularly in the center of the country. A trip to neighboring reveals in Sudan reveals a remarkable display of creativity and ingenuity by some individuals as they reinvent themselves to survive against a backdrop of clashes that have deprived many Sudanese of their means of subsistence. Faced with the month of no income, many of them are demonstrating unparalleled inventiveness to meet the needs of their families and loved ones. Ishraqa Musa stories is an eloquent example. She runs a stall selling tea, a highly prized beverage in Sudan, fleeing the violence ravaged in the Sudanese capital. She left Khartoum in search of safety. Thanks to the tea business, she struggled to provide for her families and maintain a semblance of normalcy in tumultuous time. Canadair aircrafts were still battling forest fires that broke out late on Thursday, August 10, on the outskirts of Tangier, Morocco. The fire spread to houses northwest of Tangier on the Friday, August 11. The Millat forest covered 300 hectares, and the fires broke out 3 days ago, affecting between 20 and 25 hectares. Thanks to this rapid intervention, the worst was avoided, explained Abdel Malik. Members of the Observatory for the Protection of the Environment. The circumstances surrounding the outbreak of the fire are not known, while reports indicate that the current summer season will see an unusual wave of fires due to the unprecedented rise in temperature. And the Millat forest and in Observatory for the Protection and indicate that the current elephant and sport Kylian Mbappé reinstated to PSG first teams. PSG team star Kylian Mbappé sidelines for several weeks by his management due to a contractual dispute has been reinstated to the first teams. The French capital club announced on Sundays after very constructive and positive discussions between Paris Saint-Germain and Kylian Mbappé before the PSG Lorient match this Saturday, so August 12. The player was reinstated to the first training team this morning, PSG said in a statement. Mbappé and Paris had been locked in a bitter standoff since the French national team's captain sent a letter in June announcing his desire to complete his contract, which expires in June 2024, without extending it. A scenario deemed unacceptable by the Parisian management. We want him to stay. We can say of 2 or 3 times, but he can't leave for free. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.